Morena koutou katoa. Today's kaupapa is pre-migration number 1. And what I thought I'd talk about in this session is the Great Migration, the peoples that were here before the Great Migration, our autochthonous relationships and connections to the land, and a few other things. Kaupapa number 1 is what is the Great Migration? The Great Migration is circa 1350, around about 1350 AD. And so the Great Migration is the migration from Raiatea, from Tahiti, from the Society Islands, through Rarotonga, etc., to arrive here around about the 1850s, apparently. And I say apparently because the date is hard to pinpoint, but that date was given based on generations from the captains of those canoes, in my case Turi, Ruatea, and others, for the Aotea and the Kurahopa waka, down to the generations of today, and they had 600-year celebration in 1960. The Great Migration is key because there's so much references to those ancestors, as well as so many references to those karakia. And you'll hear those karakia that were used during the Great Migration all the time. And in our case, we will chant them in the male style, and we also chant them in the female style. Why would you want to leave such a warm place and come to the freezing cold? Well, number one, our tupuna already knew about this place because there were migrations before where they came to Aotearoa and then they went back. So they already knew about this place, and that had been happening for generations and generations beforehand. But the key reason why the Great Migration has so much spoken about it is because there were a key group of people, mostly the in-laws of Toto, because Toto was a great carver, and he carved most of the waka that are referred to in the Great Migration. And most of those waka belonged to the women, because their dad was the carver. And they left because they were in conflict, and basically we got the boot. Te tini o Uenuku, which was all of us then, most of us then, there were in-house fighting, etc., a civil war. And so our people left there to find somewhere else, and so they followed the instructions of Kupe. And Kupe gave them instructions. He was also one of their brother-in-laws, to arrive here. That's a quick overview about the Great Migration. We've got to be careful though of some of the stories that have been shared, because they've been stories that have been developed with our tupuna, but by the anthropologists with a European view. And we've just got to be careful about that, because some of it then comes from a European view. Kati, that's enough for now. We'll cover more at the end of the week about this whole idea around migration and the people that were here pre the Great Migration. Ka te ake, mihana, have a great week. Tēnā koutou, kia ora tātou.